Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tarnation TV's broadcast of the 14th annual William Hawkins tribute race here at SMO Gaming Simulation Racing League. It's a long title, but we're here and it's going to be a good one because we're at Michigan this evening. My name, of course, is Blaine Donlan, joined by Rod Weston. G'day, sir.
How we doing, buddy?
Oh, man, I like these tribute races. They're cool. I mean, unfortunately, tribute race means somebody passed away, but it is super cool that year after year they keep putting these things on for these guys. So tonight it's for William Hawkins.
Yeah, and then like the last time we did something over there with SMO was, it wasn't a tribute. I think it was their 20th anniversary. Unfortunately, I had mic problems, and that did not end up really being a great broadcast on my end. But tonight we got all that fixed. Great group of guys. We're going to have a good fun race at Michigan BR. Love this place.
Yeah, Michigan, anything with a BR on the end is always cool. Brian Ring would just take those stock tracks and then he would really work on the lanes. So right out of the box, NASCAR 2003 season, most of the tracks you just get down the bottom lane and a half or so, you'd be stay there all night. Well, Brian Ring took them and made sure it was multi-lane racing. So this should be interesting to see where everybody's going to go tonight.
It'll be interesting to see the guys that actually know what the BR stands for. And I mean, I know, like you said, it's Brian Ring. Most of the Brian Ring tracks, the outside groove is the way to go. I know that there are a lot of people that weren't a big fan of the Atlanta one because literally it was the only way to go. This track here is done really, really well. You can run the bottom, you can run the middle, and you can run the top. I like the top. You're going to lose a bit at the beginning, but as the night goes along, you're actually going to gain on them. You lose a bit, the next thing you know, you'll start pulling them in. And before you know it, you passed them and you're off into the lead, and you're just saving tires the whole time. That's why I've always liked this track.
Well, you were saying you just run the wall the whole race.
Right next to it.
Yeah.
Never. The only way you ever venture away from it is if somebody all of a sudden decides, oh yeah, he's running up there, so maybe I ought to go do that. And then you literally I was practicing earlier. You go right behind somebody, you just run. Then you just, boom, pull to the bottom. You might not get it through 1 and 2 all the way. You get close enough, but once you get the position underneath them, as long as they don't got a good draft help on the back, once you get into 3 and 4, you will clear them, and then you'll be able to go right back up at the top where you want to be.
It's crazy too. People will try to follow you, but if they're not used to that line, it's not going to work. Like if I'm not used to a line, I'm not comfortable with it. It's not going to happen for me.
One of the guys that races here tonight, I sat down and we went. You asked about fuel miles. So I said, well, we'll go out and get a fuel thing, see what's going on. And I said to him, go to the high side. That's where you want to be. So it'll be interesting to see if he listens and if that pays off for
him. Yeah, that's cool. And then we don't know the name, but we'll keep it a secret.
Not yet.
Yeah.
A secret.
So we've got a couple of the admins here at SMO Gaming that know a lot more about William Hawkins than we do. So if you want to drag those guys in here and we could talk to them, I think we're going to be talking to Jamie Tedder and Viper, and we'll just give them the mics and let them talk about William, the Hawk.
Yeah, so we've got Jamie Tedder and Viper in here tonight, and please tell us about tonight's event.
Well, first of all, I want to appreciate Tarnation TV for coming out here and giving us a broadcast tonight on one of our fallen members who passed away back in 2011. William Hawkins Jr., he was from Chesterfield Township, Michigan, and he worked as a car mechanic in Detroit, Michigan. So, but the one thing about Hawk was the fact that he didn't matter what he was doing at the time. If you were struggling in the game, he would say, okay, jump in the car, jump behind me. This is what you need to do. If you was having a problem with your computer, he would exit the race and he would help you get your stuff working. That's one of the things I do miss about him. He was our computer guru for the most part. And I don't know how many countless nights he spent on TeamViewer trying to help somebody get set up correctly. So, but yeah, Hawk, he passed away at an early age because he was born in 1966, hence why he always ran the 66 car, because he was born in 66, and of course passed away in 2011. So we definitely miss him, but this race is all about him and showing our appreciation for what he's done for the SMO Gaming Simulations League.
Was he a part of getting the league started?
He was one of the early members. He was an admin. He adminned the Busch Grand National Series and the Late Model Series. And we had just switched over from Busch Grand National, the regular game, Busch Grand National Series. We had just switched over to the NWS 11 mod in 2011, right before he had passed away. So we ran this mod maybe 3 months before he passed, and he was just all in. He just really enjoyed this mod, and it was a step up from the Busch Grand National. And
so see, that answers a question I didn't even know I had then, as to why we were running the nationwide mod, the nationwide 2011 mod. And then you just kind of, like I said, you just kind of answered a question I didn't even think I had.
Right. NWS nationwide series.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool. I don't think I've ever run this mod before, so this will be a lot of fun tonight. I was thinking, oh, the nationwide series, that's pretty neat, because there's so many versions of so many different mods. And yeah, it's cool to broadcast a race and read the stats and go, oh, geez, we get to look at some different cars tonight. So that's super cool. But yeah, you said the mod came out and he wasn't around very long after that, eh? So he was only like 44, 45 years old.
He was 45.
Okay, buddy,
wow.
fired up here. Remember,
45 years old. Years young, you mean?
He had just a massive heart attack in his sleep. So
wow.
Unfortunate to lose a member like that, especially one. I've been in many leagues. You always have that one guy that's just willing to help anybody out. I mean, like you said, dropping a hat. All right, come on, let's go. Let's get it going. There's lots of leagues that have a lot of people like that, but I've never really heard of one that was that dedicated to getting everybody on the track. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the most dedicated of our league at the time. Him and another guy named Termite. He don't race with us anymore, but he was always dedicated too. But Hawk was big in his Battlefield 2. Man, he loved being a sniper in that game.
Nice. Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say Viper. Yeah, how did you know Hawk? Did you know him in person? Did you know him just through the game?
Through the game. We did communicate through TeamSpeak and through the game. We also had each other's personal number. So anytime we had computer problems, we'd call him, we'd call down here. And that's how we got acquainted like that.
That's great. That it's always a tech support thing, right? It was always he knew the game inside and out clearly.
Oh yeah, both NR and Battlefield 2, both games, he was absolutely a genius at both of them.
There's some guys like, I guess I'm asking here, who paints all these cars? Because right now we're running a scroll on the broadcast of all the screenshots of the cars he used to drive. Was he a painter? Did somebody paint his stuff for him?
No, he painted his own stuff.
Yeah, because there's a theme going on here. A lot of orange and a lot of black.
Yeah, Viper actually is running his original paint scheme that he ran in this mod when we switched over. So he's just running a 24 instead of a 66.
That's a cool looking car. I saw that earlier.
That's pretty awesome. We'll definitely have to focus on that. But yeah, I guess it looks like we're halfway through qualifying here now, guys. So are we doing, what's the happy hour timing looking like? About 5-minute happy hour, then we go green?
Sir, 5-minute happy hour.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for coming down and chatting with us about William. And yeah, thank you very much for reaching out to us to broadcast this as well. It's always a whole lot of fun doing the tribute races for these members of the community that are unfortunately no longer with us. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. It should be super cool.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate you, Blaine and Rod, for being here tonight.
Well, thanks for having us.
Hopefully y'all have a good broadcast.
Thanks, guys. Good luck tonight.
Good luck. Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go, Jamie and the Viper coming down and talking about William Hawkins. Kind of had like the coolest nickname built right into his name. So that's pretty sweet.
And I saw that car earlier and I said, well, that's a pretty cool looking ride. And then to find out that it was actually one of his cars, that's very cool.
Yeah, so we got to get on the 24. So the only thing that they were saying, Viper and Jamie and filled us in, that the 24 car this evening, the only thing that they changed was the number. Otherwise, that was Hawk's car. Would have been a 66.
Like I said, I saw it earlier. It's an orange car, and like you said, kind of the same theme colors, and it looks pretty good.
And even looking at the scroll here, they got the custom pace car up there now, but they got the modifieds. Looks like they were running. Looks like they got some ARCA cars in here. Like every different mod, it had a very similar paint scheme all across all of them. You know, I've kind of had you always have that similar process of trying to keep them consistent.
And
right?
every car it runs mellow yellow, so I get it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's somebody sees you coming. You got that same number. You got that pink spoiler on every car. Like everybody always has a little gimmick, right? So we're getting ready.
So
for
there's a
happy
few guys
hour.
that like. There's a few guys out there that like to run different cars, and I do, you know, occasionally do. I've got one in mind for that I got to get a painter to do. Not that I can't do it myself. It's a time thing for me, and so I'm gonna have one paint me up a new car and get out of the way. So we're gonna step away from the mellow yellow on this just one car, but yeah, I can see how people would. They like to keep them similar, you know. You look at Randy Waugh. 9 times out of 10, it's
Alabama.
Yep.
Yep.
And there's always drivers that kind of run like, you know, you always see Snap on Denny Carroll, you know, there's a bunch of drivers out there. They're always running something like that. U-Man, they've always got their whole wrecking ball theme before they went to the wrecking ball cars. They were all Coke product, something, you know, Fanta, iced tea, whatever.
Yeah, and I've done the same thing. I've always tried to keep the sponsors fictional. So like something from a movie, I'll find like a cereal box. Like I used to run like I have a car, Great White Bites. It's a cereal box in Planet Terror, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez thing.
Yep.
I'm like, what's that thing? So then you freeze frame on that box. And I'm like, I'll use that as a sponsor. Like I'm always trying to find these super, you know, very obscure sponsors to be like, where did that come from? I'm like, well, it's from a movie. You know, it's only in the movie for a half second, but I just paused it, looked at it, and then had to build it. You know, build the logo and then build a car. And I just ran that car for years, you know, and it's fun.
I think one of my favorite cars that I've ever driven, I ran in a league where they had what they called it the Bush series, but it was like the beginner series of that. So you could go in there if you were new and run, but once you won the championship, you were only allowed to come in and run 3 races. So it always had a new champion. You know what I mean? You didn't have John Wall coming in and snagging up and ruining the whole show. You know what I mean? Type of thing. I'm just picking on John. John's a heck of a driver. You know, we just fought for a championship. I got second. He got first, and he drove his heart out. Did a great job. But my daughter was 3 years old at the time, and she said, "Dad, I want to paint a car." So she sat on my lap. I threw up a layer, and I go, "What do you want to do?" And she just scribbled. And when she got done, I said, "I'm done, Dad." And I put Road and Smack Shop on the back, on the side of it, threw a number on it, and I went to a championship with it. And I still, to this day, every once in a while, pull that car out and go race it.
That's badass. I
One
remember
of my favorite cars.
I remember we were doing, for Brian Wolf, actually, we were doing a tribute race, Cannon Hinnant, to End Gun Violence. He does those every year, another tribute style race. And I remember he drove a car that was designed by one of Cannon's siblings, like his sisters. I think he's got a couple sisters. And they reached out to the family. Would you be interested in painting the car? I'm like, okay, well, how do we do it? So then he printed the template of the vehicle and emailed it to them. They printed it out on a sheet of paper. She drew a design on it. They scanned it in, sent it back. He put it on the car, same thing, put a 29 on it and slapped it on the car and raced it. So that it was the same type of thing. It was just crayons and pencil crayons or whatever she used.
It's very cool.
And it was very neat because, you know, and the only thing that he did was put a 29 on it because we need to be able to see it from the broadcast. So you're going to have to put a real number on it. But everything underneath it was all designed by his little sister. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Especially when they, as we've done races and, you know, give shouts out to Corey and stuff like that, you know, they get to get up there and say, I painted that. Like, Mom, look, Mom, I painted that. You know, they get all excited about it. That's pretty cool.
That's the thing. Yeah. If you got somebody, we can make it happen. Like there's
Yeah,
ways to make that happen. You want to get
absolutely.
your kid to paint your car up, like do it, It doesn't even need to be the full car. You could just print off the driver's side of the car and the hood. Here,
It is so
paint
good.
this will be the hood, paint this will be the side. And then we take the side and we mirror it to go on the other side. Then we just, you know what I mean? It's easy to do. You don't need to do the back. It's just a bumper, solid color, put a number on it. But that way it's symmetrical and you got your hood design and you come up with some pretty cool stuff.
Like me, basically my racing for real is trophy racing. So when I'm ready to get a trophy, I'm eyeing out a kid somewhere that's going to get it.
Exactly.
So there was this one little girl a few races back. I handed her a trophy. It lit up her life. Mom said she's always loved it. Well, she come over tonight. Today was her birthday. She came over and she was giving out cupcakes to us because, we're some of the people she liked. And I pointed at her and I said, the first place, next time, if I win and I get a first place trophy, you better be here because you're going to get it.
Right. If you're here,
The
it's
kids love
yours.
it.
Yeah.
If you're here, no, it's not even if you're here, it's yours. It's yours. He's going to get it.
So that's super cool. So you race the go-karts, and
Yes.
when you win a trophy, you don't keep it.
Don't keep it.
Wow.
When I raced big cars for myself, I never did. Once I passed Tech, I would go right up into the stands with the trophy in hand, and I'd find a kid to give it to.
No kidding. That's cool.
91, 92, 93 most popular driver.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just because I went up in the grandstands and I did my part to make sure that the people knew who, knew and whatnot, and just tried to keep. You always want to try to keep the youth in enjoying it and involved in it somehow. And like you said, they said with the paintings and stuff like that, you have to do it.
I never even thought of the trophy thing too. That's so cool, especially in like a local circuit setup like that. It's like the trophies are just going to become fast and furious sometimes.
Okay, buddy, fired up here.
Why keep them all? You're going to have nowhere to put them.
Turning your stuff on.
Still have the original trophy, the first one I ever won in the back in the days of racing the Strictly Salts, and that's it.
Nice. We are gridding up now. We're getting ready to start this deal. So I retired my car. I was in the back anyway. I didn't want that position.
You didn't get the pole position?
Nope.
No.
No, this is not lotto qualifying tonight. I do believe they actually did.
So John Wall, no surprise there, got the pole. Very fast. I love racing this kid. He is incredibly fast and very talented racer. And very good racer. He's racing with him is a joy. He is definitely not a rough driver or anything like that. I love racing with him. Tom Moose on the outside with the Oreo car. That's kind of cool.
One of the only blue cars tonight.
Yeah, we do the Oreo car. Number 4, Tom Musa is in a blue Oreo cookies car. That's different, but
As we roll off here, Michigan, the parade lap will begin and we'll go green. 70 laps on the clock this evening. Did you have a chance to take a drive around this thing?
I played around a little bit earlier. We're going to review something we talked about earlier. Did a little bit of laps with Tom Musa, and we'll see if those pay off for him. They can get about probably 25 to 26 laps on fuel. I'm going to say 25 to 20 to 24 probably, but it really depends on where you're at. Because remember, this is a big super speedway track, but it's not like a Daytona Talladega. There is a little bit of lifting involved. Not much, but the draft will come into play here. So if you're in a draft and you can back off, you might be able to save a few extra laps. But I'm figuring about anywhere from 24 to 26 laps, depending on how much fuel you save. So it'd be interesting. The tire wear, well, that depends. Like I said before, I always like to run the high side here. Running the bottom, you're going to wear your tires a little bit quicker. So it'll be interesting to see the guys that run right around to the white line through the corners. They may fall off later in the run. The guys that may go run a little higher and save their stuff, they might be there, come back, as it were, a little later on.
I'm curious about like what you say. It's a 2-mile speedway.
Yep.
Yes, not a super speedway, but like I guess they call it an intermediate speedway because it's big, it's wide, it's
kind of speedway, I guess. Yeah. We're getting ready to rock and roll.
Is it detrimental to be in front the whole race, pushing the air and burning more fuel, especially in long green flag situations, or you just want to be up there leading? Because you don't have any draft if you're up there. I do believe Rod forgot to push the button. We are
I hit
green.
the wrong button.
Yes.
You hit the wrong button. Okay, so it's a 70-lap race, so you know there's going to be at least 2 pit stops. Okay, and you can pretty much go to those. Whoops, we got a spin already in the backstretch.
Yeah, we were focused on Musa there. He got bumped out of his line a little bit. He lost his line, got it up into the wall, and they went about 4 or 5 wide trying to avoid him. But
Tom Goodman, Javier Negron is in it. Musa, RC's in it. Randy Waugh. Unfortunately, Viper was in it. The thing, I do believe that, and this is the way this league runs, is there is no damage. So
no.
we know how that works out. You've rat, all right, you're going to go in, you're going to change your 4 tires, and you're going to get yourself a nice cold refreshment, and then you're going to come back out and you're going to charge your way to the front. So that's the good thing. It's just the bad thing is now you're in the back if you were in the front, like Tom was on the outside line.
Yeah, that's the thing. He just lost the line and did the old big slide job up the track. This is a track too. You do want to, you do have to get the tires warmed up too, right? So if you get those, you're going to get those big slides if you start cranking that throttle a little bit too early.
If you honestly, I mean, depending on the driver too. I'm a driver that always complains that the setup's too tight. You never really can get it loose enough. But in order to be able to have
Loose is
some of these
fast.
people, yeah, it is. But in order, you can't. Like my Martinsville setup, some people would never be able to make it into the corner with it. So you have to make a setup that's good for all. A good driver, even though it's a little bit too tight, they'll figure it out. If you're running the bottom, like in turn 1 and 2, you might get a little loose down there. But if you go to the high side, you definitely won't. So I think it was just a bad run off the corner, and they just made a little contact. We got 5 cars that going down pit road.
We currently have 6 cars on pit road.
Yeah, but what is the 79?
Oh, is that Kira? Yeah,
Kira,
she's watching from the helicopter probably.
Yeah, I'd like to see her get out there and race with us some.
She's always there, but never on the track. Like on the track for the practice and the happy hour and everything, but never for the race.
Yep. Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I've seen her. She's won. Of course, I'm on with the group, on Facebook, and she's won races with these guys. So I'm surprised she doesn't come out a little more often and show the boys what it's all about.
I'm curious to know why. I mean, if you're going to be here, I wonder why you wouldn't race, but I guess there's reasons.
Yep. I do want to give a shout out to my daughter. I'm pretty sure she's going to listen to this. Sonia, she's listening. And my buddy Dylan Gilbert, who helps me out doing stuff with the go-kart.
Nice.
He's actually, this is pretty cool. He's actually going to get into a go-kart this coming weekend and race against me.
Oh.
He's looking forward to that. Oh, yeah, he's looking forward to that. And it's no slouch. The last time this kart was out, it finished second. So, he's up against some good stiff competition with a kart that will get it done.
Nice. We just saw Denny Carroll peel down to the pits there. So we got John Wall up front. Right behind him, Andrew Miller, fellow broadcaster from Top Dragster. He's helped Tarnation TV out a couple times too. Good to see Andrew out there.
And he's a talent.
Yeah, one way or the other, right? Like he's just out here racing in second place right now. He knows how to get on the mic and do the thing.
Very good broadcaster. I've listened to some of you guys on there. He does a really good job helping you out. And of course, I think the last SMO race that we did was at the SMO Super Speedway. The 20th year, he was the winner.
Yep. Behind him, Jamie Tedder. Behind him, Josh 2. Ulysses Sandoval is here as well. Hello to Javier Negron is there, running in 6th position right behind Ulysses. Tom Goodman. Randy Waugh. There's Viper in the 24. And of course, that car used to have a 66 on it. So that's Hawk. The old Hawk ride. D. Jordan, who's that? Dick Jordan in the 61.
We call him RC.
RC. And Tom Musa in the number 4, Oreos. Chris Aiken in the back there, number 19. Denny Carroll. Where's Jeremy?
Jeremy had broken header.
Engine header. Oh, Jim Jernigan. Didn't even get to start the race. I wonder what happened there. Missed a shift at the start, maybe?
Could be. So, any of you guys out there that are looking for a great league to come race with, they race, as far as I know, Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays, and they're a great league. All right, we're getting ready to go back green.
Thank you, everybody, for watching on YouTube, by the way. Benjamin Snyder's in there. Ham Radio and Trains and Things. I love that screen name. Jeffrey Elliott and Ken Roberts. Hey, what's up, Blaine and Rod? What's up, Ken? Man, we had a lot of fun with Ken and Buckshot, and man.
Oh, yeah.
A couple weeks ago, they ran a team race over at Talladega Nights, and working with those guys was a riot. Couldn't have been on a better team.
One of the guys that runs or owns Maverick Racing League. A lot of drivers race over there.
Yeah, and they've got I think they're up to 3 nights a week now. I remember him talking about having a West Side League. So they're working on some
Tuesdays? Didn't know they did any others.
Yeah, I think there's 2 nights a week, or they're working on 2 nights a week, or it was 2 and it's going up to 3. They are adding another series.
Plenty of leagues out there, but I'm telling you, this group right here is the one you want to come play with. It's a nice group, good group of guys. They have a lot of fun. Just remember, the game's free. All you got to do is do a little searching. You can find it on the internet. Get in there. You need to get a mic. You need to get a steering wheel, a decent computer, and get their information. Come in and enjoy racing with these guys. Need help? Well, you heard about Hawk earlier. These other guys will help you out just like he used to, and you get you guys going and get you running. And it's a lot of fun. I love racing with these guys. I just do it on Sundays when I don't race the real kart, and I have a great time with them.
Yeah, the game's free, the track's free, mods are free, everything's free, your sound packs, all that stuff. I mean, most of the guys who do create these things do have donation buttons on their websites. Yep. So that's always encouraged, of course, like BBMC with their tracks, donate to them. They haven't made a track in years now, but, it's always good to donate to the people who create the content. They're never going to charge you for it, but it's also cool to chuck them some money for donuts.
Of course, right now we got John Wall. Oh, out in the front, John Wall. I mean, come on, man. And then you got Jamie Tedder behind him, and there's old Andrew Mitter. I think he's just sitting back there, just kind of watching them. Waiting. Go ahead, guys. Use it up. I'll be there in a little bit.
This mod seems to sit a little low, I notice.
Yes, I've noticed that myself.
Brand new stuff in the last week, too. There's a user on YouTube. His name's F1 Danza. Finally released his Next Gen 7 sound pack. I'm not using it tonight because I'm always a little scared to mess with stuff without really extensive testing. I know that the sound pack I'm using this evening by a user on Reddit named Pilotical. This sound pack's been around forever. It's the Kyle Petty Experience V8 pack for the engine sounds you're hearing. But this new one from Danza sounds amazing. And like I said, I want to test it first because I'm sure he's tested it like crazy. He's been working on it for a long, long time. So I'm sure it's perfect. But like I said, community's always creating stuff. Even right down to engine sounds.
Back in sixth, 7th position, you man tried to get under heavy R and couldn't quite get her done. Backed off and went to, give it a little bit more time and they'll try again. Viper's up there running the high side, coming up behind Randy Waugh. I keep an eye on that kid. I think he's going to be up there near the front here before too long.
The draft is crazy on that back straight. They're up 195 coming down that back straightaway into turn 3.
Drafting's important here. It's not everything, but it is. Once you get on a straightaways, getting in that draft will definitely help. Now, if you get out of the draft, that's going to hurt big time.
Wow, there's Ulysses Sandoval, 203 mile an hour into that turn.
That Poppy's not scared. He'll drive that thing in there.
Oh.
No. I got a little carried. Somebody got a little carried away there.
Yeah, we're talking about him going 203, but he needed another 3 inches.
I think he was trying for 205.
Yes,
he wanted
I
to
think
get
he
out
was.
that corner good. And they're getting almost 4 wide here. Oh no, RC decided no, we're not going to do that.
No, him and Javier both bumped that wall out there, but they kept the speed up. They're still hitting 200 into this corner again. This track is pretty wild.
Josh too is just sitting around there watching them guys up in front of him. Just the three leaders, they're fighting up for it right in front of him. John Wall still got the lead. Jamie Tedder's still second. Andrew Middle's third, and Josh too is just back there, just watching them guys. Get going, wear it off. He's just watching, cruising behind him, getting that draft.
Yep.
I like Josh. He's so. These guys are so much fun. Like last Sunday we did a race. It was just a special race. We did a figure eight, and what a blast! Jamie Tedder in the wall in the front stretch. I think he just got a little too high and touched the wall, and that wall will just slow you right down quick. We had a fun race. We did 2 races, and it was a figure eight. And man, and you try to prepare for when you see the guy, and you know you're going to hit him, and it surprises you so much. No matter what, it makes you jump.
See, when you were talking about figure eight track, I was instantly thinking about 8-bowl, which actually has a bridge in the middle, so you're never going to intersect. But the ones you're talking about are straight up intersection.
Yeah, Mission Demolition Derby, 8-bowl without that bridge. And I'm telling you, I've gone through there, and even though you can figure out how long it's going to be and whatever, you're not prepared for it. You'll be going through the next thing you know, wham, and it just makes you jump right out of your shirt. Right out of your shirt. I mean, it scares the heck out of you.
Damage on or off?
They had it off. So you don't get hurt. You just you just
punched.
lose position.
Yeah.
Andrew Miller trying to duck underneath John Waugh.
Yep.
Josh too staying right with John. So that I was just gonna. He's trying to pick who he wants to follow. I think he wants to go with Andrew Miller. So he's
almost bump drafted
right
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do on the front stretch here, just because it is such a corner that you have to be cautious doing that because you end up spinning the guy. So Josh did a great job of just keeping as close as he could without actually hitting him. Of course, that outside groove come into play. Jamie Tedder just went right on the outside of him, getting the draft off from John Wall. So they're, it's starting to get a little racy here. See, we're 15 laps in. Some of them hit it. So, we probably got another 10 to 12 laps.
That's what I'm thinking, Yeah, because about 5 or 6 guys did pit. So that is going to be...
Too. Wall and Miller and Tedder, I think, were some of the ones that stayed out. So they're going to have to come in at about probably 8 laps, maybe?
I'm curious, too, because right now we're fine. We're all kind of running door to door, tail to tail, nice, clean. Everybody's warmed up and rocking. But the tires are going to start fading a lot earlier on the cars that did not pit.
That's just true. And you got a few drivers, still lone wolves out there hiding around the back. Tom Moose is in the way in the back. Tom Goodwin's back there a little bit. I think they got lost the draft at the beginning part of that last restart. And then it's hard. When you don't have the draft here, you're going to drop quick.
This is a challenge for me trying to keep the camera where I need to keep it. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here. People passing, multiple lines. Oh, big wobble there by Andrew Miller.
Yeah, he's big.
Somehow he held on to that. It looked like Tedder actually got in the back of him. But he kept control of that thing. They all fanned out about 3 wide to avoid that. Lots of real estate here at Michigan.
To give you an idea, the front runners all that are packed together there in the draft, they're running almost just a little over 205, 202 at the end of the straightaway. Tom Moose is by himself, and he's only running 195 at the end of the straightaway.
Wow.
And it doesn't sound like a whole lot.
It is, though.
To somebody driving down the road that's going 195 miles an hour, and then the other guy is doing 205, there's a bit of difference. But on a track like this, without that help, it makes a big difference.
Currently the fastest lap around the track, 36.713 seconds by Dick Jordan, which is 196.1 miles per hour.
You just said that and it reminded me of one thing. I forgot to turn that stuff on. I knew I was forgetting something.
Oh, the GNL TV stat tracker?
Yeah.
You run that stuff behind the scenes here to get my ticker rolling across the top.
Yeah,
so.
and I was like, you said that, and I went, oh no, I forgot to turn it on.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll still have a good broadcast without it.
You could quit, fire it up, and then turn the race back on. It'll come up for you.
It'll just depend on you.
Okay, that works. That's about all it really gives me right now. I mean, it does show me engine header. Kiara Reynolds has retired after Jim Jernigan, so she did not get last place.
So after
That's
Andrew
too
Miller
bad
had
that Jim had an engine failure that early. That's a shame.
it is. After Andrew Miller had that little wobble, he started working his way back up. But about 4 or 5 cars starting off with Jamie Tedder on the high side. Chris Akins made his way up near the front, not a surprise there, with Viper right behind him. And they started to make that high side kind of work with Jamie Tedder. And they're actually starting to blow by Andrew Miller here.
Yeah.
U-Man's into that line. And there's not really a whole lot Andrew can do until that upper line opens up. Because, now we're, like we said, later in the run, he's probably about 2-3 laps from pitting. Right front tires starting to wear out. These guys that did pit, now their tires are starting to come into play. So they're going to start going through them, which they're doing. Although, no surprise, who's still up front? John Wall.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what you're starting to see with the 47 car. Miller is maybe he's just he sees that tire starting to fade a little bit. Maybe he's just going to save it. You don't want to run it into the red because then you're going to crash. So he's like, you know what? We'll get to this pit stop and get there safely. Maybe let a couple cars go, and that way you can get there.
The one thing I love racing with John Wall is because it makes you a better racer.
John Wall, amazing, yeah. You want to follow somebody and learn how to get around a track. It's that guy.
Yep. He had a great race on Tuesday night at Martinsville, and he didn't realize you could run third gear. We did it for qualifying, and so he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So he starts running third gear in the race. Unfortunately, we told him, you're not going to make it. It ended up being a fuel monster race, and so we shouldn't have said anything because we would have beat him. He ended up winning.
Keep it a secret, yeah.
He didn't win by much because I was right on his rear bumper, but it was an absolute fun race to race with him.
Is that an open set that you guys are running?
Oh, there's a fixed setup night, and it was over to another league, and we just had a great race. And
nice. Speaking of great races, we're watching one right now.
Guys are just
Ulysses Sandoval up to 4th position right now, and he's knocking on the door there for the 24 car, a Viper driving the old Hawk car.
I don't have the thing up here, but sorry, I was just reading something that Jamie had put that we missed a little earlier, but that's okay. John Wall, he's gonna have to hit very, very soon, and you can see the new tires now, starting to run him over. Just that's the brakes. He was probably just hoping that he could get a little bit further in, maybe pick up caution and do his pit. But I don't think he's going to get hurt too bad once he gets in and out of there. I mean, he's a great, like I said, he's a great racer. He'll get in and out of that pits relatively clean. If he does, he may not lose too much time. That's the hope, but he'll be out there on newer tires, and he'll probably just throw down some qualifying laps.
Right. Now, so I was just going to say, if he's starting to fade on tires and he has to go in for tires earlier than everybody else, then down the table's just flipped around. Because all these guys just, like you said, they just drove by him. Well, now he's going to be the guy driving by them.
Right.
On the next cycle.
The biggest thing about it is where you really kind of sort of lose. So if he pitted, I'd say, if he pitted 2 or 3 laps before these guys, even though he's going to be faster because he's on new tires, these guys are going to have the draft. So it's kind of which way pays dividends. But then if he can stay close enough to where when they come out and get up behind their draft or ahead of them, and then then it becomes a moot point at that time.
Right, and this place not being a super speedway, you could get lucky enough to kind of sort of just get caught in a pocket, and get some easy drafting and get back up to speed pretty quick. Here they go now.
We got U-Man, John Wall.
John
Wall is
going to miss the pits.
He hits the pit road wall into Jamie Tedder, which spins him around. Javier Negron and Josh too also pitted, but they got lucky they didn't get caught up in that. I think John Wall overshot the pits just a little bit, and then the entrance of the pits hit the grass and could not get it rolled up enough to get it back in there. Fortunately, no damage. Like we said, there's no damage.
Looking at this pit lane, I love this pit lane because you can come in here full speed, get the car on the flat, and then slam the brakes on, because off the transition and you're going to spin out. But I think that's what happened to John. He came down, pretty harsh, and but he had those tires in the grass, and it's like you just lose your entire braking zone.
So that puts the lead out to Viper with Chris Aiken right behind him. Now, these are the guys that pitted during that caution, so they can go a little bit further. And if they were try to, I think you'd try to get more drafting together and see if you guys can just, leg out a little distance. It all really depends on where John and them guys come out. Now they're pitting right now. And Chris almost loses it, but that was a good recovery. He come in there hot, got it out of little shape. Him and Chris both right in there perfect. John Wall come out in 9th place behind Jamie Tedder. Now those are the two guys that were caught up in that. So the next guy that was ahead of him is U-Man, and I'm trying to quickly figure it out. That's not giving me the exact science where they're at.
Currently
They're
showing
lap
John
down.
in 11th, and he
So-
would be one lap out. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where they all come into play on this. See, you got Josh 2, Heavy Underground, and U-Man that are all together. Those are the three guys that pitted with Jamie Tedder and John Wall, but they didn't get caught up in that little thing on the end of it. So they pretty much got a pretty decent run ahead of them guys. And now...
Yeah, it's showing them about 4 seconds ahead of Wall.
Yeah, that's what I was looking to see.
Yeah.
How much? So that's what that incident cost him.
But
And that
he's
hurt.
closing that gap something awful right now, because now that just changed to 1 second. He's right on him. So, yeah, we're focused on Javier Negron right now, and he actually just got passed by Tedder and Wall.
So if you can get, I'd say, have John Wall make a mistake and say, all right, you got to do qualifying laps to catch him. There's the guy that's going to do it.
Yeah.
That guy can fly. May not have much tires at the end of the run, but he'll get there.
So currently looking at the 24 car Viper, he was credited with leading the last couple laps, and it's actually Andrew Miller right now. He's 2 seconds ahead of everyone.
There's another guy that's really good at pitting, getting in and out of the pits, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much what it is right there. Viper's just like you said, about just under 2 seconds, and he's gaining on him because he's also got Chris Aiken right behind him. So them two together are going to run down Andrew Miller. There's nothing Andrew can do about that because the draft does pay dividends here.
And that was an unexpected pit cycle, because I definitely thought the guys who went in late last time would have definitely had the jump on that, but everybody sort of went to the pits of the same 2 or 3 lap span. It wasn't as big of a gap as we thought it was going to be.
But you also got to remember tire wear. If there, I didn't even look to see what they lost per the run. You know what I mean? So if you're losing a lot of time in a run, if somebody pits that's fast, that's running ahead of you, you don't want to waste too much time being out there on old tires. So they, figured they jump in, grab tires, and make sure that they can stay about even with them on tires.
Yeah, you figure if you're all on the same lap, why not, right?
Yep. They're running him down. I mean, about probably
Quarter second last lap. It was 1.79. Now it's 1.4.
So they've got their draft a little bit tighter. So now they're going to pick up even quicker on it. Yeah, that one there was about 0.8 through 8. Sorry, my dyslexia kicked in. 9.8. So 3.8. So they're gaining. They'll get there within a few laps. They'll be right there. Yep, they're right behind him. So they'll be right there soon.
And they've definitely caught his draft now, which is going to help them.
Yep. Once you get within a second of somebody, their draft starts to come into play. I mean, you can be a little bit beyond that, but it once you get right into about 1 second, next thing you know, you'll see them start really just picking up because they've got his draft. That's helping pulling them up through.
Yeah, plus there's 2 of them, so they're going to catch him a lot faster than, he'd never be able to get away, especially on this style of track.
Yep. And they just took a half a second right away right that time. And I guarantee you when they get to the start-finish line this next time around, they'll be right behind them pretty much.
We're just about halfway through this thing. The only caution that came out actually came out on the first lap. And these guys have been on rails ever since.
I love races like this when strategy comes into play.
Yeah, because we're going to start talking after this next pit cycle. And all that. There's that fuel mileage again. Can they make it on one? They're going to need two.
I know you kept track of this. I didn't. When was the last time, we'll say, Andrew Miller pitted? He's done about 10 laps, right? Maybe less than that, 8?
Yeah, I could go back and check. I didn't actually write that down. And I usually do.
Yeah. Now, Seth has taught us well. We just got to learn to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward. We got a broadcast coming up. It's going to be a great broadcast for cancer awareness. And once again, I get to be in the booth with the great Seth Cole. I cannot wait. That guy is a blessing to work with, and I learn so much every time I do it with him.
He is good. They have got to Miller now. Finally, Tedder and Viper, or not Tedder, that's Aiken. Aiken and Viper have reeled in Miller, and we currently have the 28th of September at 9 o'clock. Join us for the breast cancer awareness race for the cure, presented by Nate Balser, right here at Tarnation TV.
Yep. So the next question is, if you're Viper, do you just stay there? Or do you want, there's no points. So the only advantage is, there's no advantage of trying to leading a lap. I think the smart thing is to stay there, save your stuff, let him burn the fuel up, and maybe you and Chris can, kind of just work past it. They're just catching up to Tom Goodman, and they're going to probably put him a lap down. Depends. I think they might just stay behind him and use him to save fuel, too.
What you're saying, too, just kind of made me think about that. When you're Miller right now and you're leading this, now you're doing a lot more driving in the mirror. You're using up your stuff a little bit better because you're not going to be as consistent on your points, I don't think. I get a little nervous when these guys behind me, and I'm more willing to make a mistake, more apt to make a mistake. Yeah, but when you're concentrating on, hopefully they don't pass me, and then you tag a wall and they pass you,
Yeah, also, too, though, it all depends. When it's not a points race, okay, so you know that Viper's not going to try to pass you to just lead a lap. So now the strategy becomes, well, I think they, are they going to stay there? Like you said, there's always that thought in your mind. Are they going to stay there? Are they going to try to go? But a race like this, I think you'll probably, if you're Andrew Miller, you're looking back at Viper saying, yeah, he's just saving fuel off me. And I like what I just saw. Where'd Viper go? Right to the high side.
Right to the wall.
He was right to the high side. He's starting to go up there and save. He's letting Andrew go down and go draft off Tom Goodman. But he's going right to the high side. Both of them, Chris and him, went right to the high side. That's where you want to run. And they're just saving their stuff.
Yeah, we were focused on Goodman there for a little bit. It's weird they didn't catch him quicker. Like, he's right there, but they're not really getting to him. Tom Goodman is a lap down already, so he will go 2 laps down if they can get around him.
I think right now everything's just kind of at that point where the race is, just running its course. Or, as I say, you're just running off the laps. Like I said, non-points race, they're just out there. Everybody wants to win. So they're just kind of running their race, trying to be smart about it now, try to run their laps down. All the while in the back of their head thinking, okay, what are we going to do for strategy? And as we say that, there goes Viper and Chris Aiken right to the bottom of the track, and they're going to go right by him because there's nothing he can do. 2 cars drafting together, and he's not close enough to Tom Goodman to where he can actually take advantage of that. I do believe they probably pitted a little bit later than Andrew did. So Andrew's tired. Andrew might be in a point now where he just want to try to save tires. Now he can get behind these guys, save a little bit of fuel. He's been pretty much committed to running the middle, the bottom. Now I think he's kind of figured it out. He's going to the high sides and going to run behind them for a little bit and see if that high side works for him.
Yeah, because it looked like he sort of just pulled over and just let him go. There was another good battle going on back there. And actually, they're on the pit road now. Javier Negron coming out of the pits. To latch on to Ulysses Sandoval here. Watch him going around. So it looks like we are within another pit window here.
Well, I would say you're pretty close to the pit window. So some of the guys may come in a little early, just try to get tires and get back out there, hoping, if should a caution come out, maybe that'll put them back up front, or they can go the distance. So it's why not,
Yeah, so we saw Javier coming out of the pits.
A lot of strategies to this racing deal.
Yeah.
Sometimes for people, like we always talk about Bob Dixon, he's always the first one down pit road. That's his strategy. That's the way he does it. Some guys like to just run it almost out of fuel. Really, it just depends on your style of racing and your strategy. And
yeah, the almost running out of fuel thing is a good one, but I've been caught with that one because then a yellow comes out and you got to take the penalty because you can't get back around again. So you're like, well, I'm going in a close pit because I won't be able to make it.
I've had that happen. I've also had just, going down the backstretch with about 1.5 pounds of fuel going, I just hope I can get into the pits and have enough to make it to my pit stall.
Showing me that Javier Negron is pitting again.
That would probably be a penalty for something.
Huh.
Gonna have to give Javier a mellow yellow or something because the sun drop's just not getting it done for him.
Yeah. We saw him come out of the pit, so yeah, maybe it was a speeding penalty. I didn't see black flag status on him, but I may have missed it.
I like racing with Javier. He's fun. I like to give them guys a hard time that run, competitive sodas. They're good. Sun drop is actually really good. It's just not a soft drink that you find up here.
Oh, okay. I've never heard
mellow
of it.
yellow's hard to find up here too. So
yeah, I'm drinking orange juice with some moonshine in it.
I'm doing what they call the Cape Codder. Vodka and a little bit of cranberry.
Nice.
Tom
Whistler
Goodman got
11th.
right to the back bumper of Andrew Miller. Granted, he's a lap down, but he's using him and to help him out on fuel mileage a little bit and pushing him back up to the guys.
Just went back and focused on John Wall, sitting back here in 10th or 11th.
What I don't like about the way Andrew
10th,
Miller is running the corners, he's running and going in on the bottom and then kind of drifting up in behind the guys. And that's going to do a little bit wear on your tire. Now, as I say that, now he's following the line at, on the high side.
Right, so maybe he's just trying to find a spot. Currently focused on Denny Carroll, the 41.
Andrew Miller just hit the wall off too. That's going to hurt him. It ain't going to hurt the car, but it's going to slow his forward momentum down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe he's getting near the end of his tire run.
Yeah. And like you said, because some of the guys pitted early.
Yes,
their strategies are just everywhere.
Yeah, we had Javier come down really early. It looked like he may have gotten a penalty because he went back in again around lap 42 to 45.
So John Wall was caught back up pretty much to the guys that he pitted with. Was it him and Jamie actually got together and kind of caught up to him. He's still back in 10th. He's trying to get up to 9th to take it away from Jamie, but that mistake on pit road cost them. I mean, I'm pretty sure the only way they're going to have a better run out of this day is they're going to have a caution.
Yeah, because currently Wall is being shown about 9.5 seconds behind the leader, and he's sitting in 10th place right now. Tom Lewis all by himself on the 4 car. He's about 25 seconds out.
Yeah, he had a couple contacts with the wall on the exit of 2 that'll slow your momentum down, and when you start losing that momentum and you get away from them, it's so hard to get back. A lot of Dodges out here tonight. Did you notice that? A lot of those Dodges. No. I love those Dodge Challengers or Chargers. Sorry, It is challenging. Love the looks of those. I thought that was so cool when Dodge came out with those. Okay, so John Wall, Jamie Tedder. And they hit again. They go have an accident going into pit road.
Where's pit lane 2? Missed
looks
it.
like
Oh,
John
wow.
Wall locked up.
Tedder missed it completely.
Yep. They came in with Denny Carroll. They didn't make it, and Denny Carroll made it in just fine. That's the second time. Those mistakes are going to cost you big time. And, you know, he's lost a lot of time already, and then to have it happen again, that's really going to hurt. Oh, that was close. There was,
Yellow
as he was
flag.
coming in.
Caution on the track. Watching
Okay.
Chris Aiken there from the cockpit. I just saw him lift. Yellow is up.
So the next question is can John Wall get in and out and not go a lap down? That, you know what I mean? He was one of the front runners. He almost had a collision with Randy Waugh as he was coming into his pit. Randy was leaving his pit. Randy saw him coming, kind of just went straight. John had to lift for a minute, you know, let Randy go. Randy did the right thing. Instead of pulling up, he, you know, tried to go straight so that John had a little bit more better, easy come in.
Seeing where the point of caution is here. Oh, it may have been the missed pit, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah, he might have gone far enough out there that caused the caution. Yep.
Yeah.
They were right on the edge of the track.
All I'm seeing is Tedder and yeah, let's just see it in an instant replay here. We see Tedder coming down to the pits, Wall right beside him.
So Waugh did end up getting a lap down out of that, but the good news is he's pretty sure that Waugh and I'm not sure if they give 2 lucky dogs or 1. Because it ended up by the time they got to the line that Tom Musa. But there again, this is when I see it, they're pitting. So John Wall, I think, was a lucky dog. So that'll help him. He's on pit road now getting tires. So he'll probably come out as a lucky dog. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Andrew Miller stays out, so he must be confident enough that he can make it on fuel. He has Denny Carroll right behind him. Or no, Denny Carroll, I think, is Denny trying to figure out who's ahead of who. Denny keeps pulling up in front of him. So Denny is behind him. Sorry about that. I was watching him and Denny was ahead of him. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then I looked at the thing. Denny is actually behind him. So
yeah, so everybody's going to come down that time.
Everybody but Andrew Miller and Denny Carroll. And I think Javier's still on the lead lap.
Yeah, Ulysses Sandoval is showing only 1 pit stop as well as Josh 2. But I think they're down on the apron right now, so they are going to go.
I think what you're probably going to see Tom Musa do is stay out, and if he can make it from here, I think you'll see him probably stay out and try to be the wave around. And I believe, like I said, John Wall is going to be your lucky dog.
So Musa, you're saying, is in a wave around position? He's currently on the apron.
That's just that. I'm not sure. I trying to remember how they do the lucky dog here. I apologize. John Wall is still on pit road. That doesn't make much sense. Or he must have come back on pit road because he's a lucky dog.
Yeah, he's currently pitting again. Yeah.
And I do apologize. I run in so many different leagues, it's hard to remember. A lot of the leagues, there's 2 different ways they do lucky dogs. One is that the lucky dog will drop down with 1 to go. They'll drive all the way up to the front, before that. When they hit the start-finish line where they tell them it's 1 to go, they'll drive around, come around to the back. They'll clear the black flag. The admin will clear it for them. Some leagues have you drive through pit road the second time by, take full service. Some of them will make you go to the end of the longest line. Others will just let you come out wherever you end up, and then they will award you 1 lap to get you back on that lap that you should be on.
The first way, I think, is the best way. Having to drive that lap.
I do for the one reason and one reason only. So if you have a start and the admin hasn't had a chance to hit the button, and the yellow comes out, now once the yellow flag comes out, you can't award them a lap. But if they got a black flag, the yellow can come out, you can still clear that black flag.
Right.
So to me, I like that as a better way to do it. But like I said, these leagues all have their own quirks and whatever, and you just got to find one that you like. I run with a league that has a tire rule. You get the tires you start with in one set. You can run. You can run. Pull in, hit, take 4 tires. You can pull in, take left, just lefts, and then 2 lefts. 2 sets of lefts or 2 sets of right. And I like the way they do that. Yeah. It makes it so much fun to figure out strategy.
That's cool. Knowing it's like every car has 4 tires behind the wall. However you want to use those 4 tires is you can go full service and they're all gone. Or you can save them and do 2 right side, like you said. And it's super cool that way. And then, I mean, it's more work for the admins after to run that replay through the generator to spit out the stats. But hey, it's not hard. There's utilities that you throw that replay through. It shows you pit twice and took 4 tires both times. You're getting a penalty.
What they do is, so if you exceed that, all right, for every time you exceed it, all right, you get a lap penalty. You get a lap penalty every time you exceed that. So if you go in and you take 4 tires and then, you spin out, you got to get 4 tires. You come back out and, you had to get 4 new tires, and that's the only thing you do to keep going the race. At the end of the night, you're going to be put lap down.
Yeah, it's such a cool little element,
It is. And I brought Denny Carroll over with me to them, and he absolutely just loved it. So we're getting ready to go back green. I'm kind of focusing on John Wall for a minute with as low to laps as we want to go. I want to see if he's going to just rocket right up towards the front. I'm going to keep an eye on him for a little bit. You keep an eye on the front.
And we've got the 33 of Goodman in row 3 here, but he's a lap down. He's 2 laps down actually, but there's no damage here, so he might stay right there. Randy Waugh right behind him. Say hello to Corey.
So a lot of the leagues like that, they won't make you do anything until you get down to like 10 or less laps to go.
Okay.
And then they'll have you just do a drive-through. Ooh, that was close.
Big
Come
hit.
on, John, save it. Oh, he did not. Oh, he did not save it. Yeah. He got into the side of Denny Carroll there, got a little loose and whatnot, and a hospital wobble down the backstretch. John Wall is not having a great night tonight.
That's too bad, because we were actually watching Ulysses Sandoval took a hard hit into that wall too. Just not getting those tires warmed up.
I was expecting him to make a charge. I think honestly what happened is he come off the corner, put a little bit of wheel into it, and just got it a little sideways, and Denny kind of got a loose off the corner, so he was trying to avoid him and just got a little out of shape, tapped Denny. Didn't disrupt Denny's at all, but John was trying not to hit him and spun out, and I tell you, John just does not have any luck at all tonight. None whatsoever.
That's the thing too. Something could happen, like
Randy
Waugh. Something could happen in the room too, right? You could.
That was good.
Your hand could slip on the wheel, and it could a whole bunch of different things could happen.
I don't know if
like, oh man, what is he doing? And maybe he just sneezed.
I hate that. You ever going through a corner, especially at Martinsville or something like that, and you got to sneeze? Try to sneeze and keep your eyes closed. It don't work.
Open.
Yeah, try to open. Yeah, right, sorry, because they're going to close on you.
Yeah.
So Viper is out front, and he's been in and out. Ooh, you got a little schoolie there. Chris Aiken right behind him. Now, Tom Goodman was right behind them guys, but as you said before, he is a lap down and kind of dropping. Randy Waugh's in third. I mean, he's doing really, really good tonight. Josh Two's right behind him. And then Andrew Miller is back there hiding around in the 5th spot. We've got about 12 laps to go, so you keep an eye on Miller there a little bit. He's probably, if he's got the car to get there, he'll get up there.
And the only vehicles we have laps down, John Wall 1 lap down, Tom Goodman 2 laps down. Javier Negron has retired. Kira Reynolds and Jim Jernigan as well with an engine failure.
Now, if we were Seth Cole, we'd be telling you all about the make, model, sponsors.
Yep.
That guy's thorough.
How many wins he has on this track when it's foggy outside, like all that stuff.
Yeah. The name of his firstborn.
Yeah. You know, every time this guy ran this track on a Sunday evening in August, it's just one of those days. He's won 6 times out of 12. Who keeps these stats? Seth Cole does. That's who.
Yes, that's who. Yep. He's a heck of a broadcaster, though. Got to get Brad back with us for one sometime, just for fun.
Yeah, he's moving. Sold the house. Going north.
So, as you noted, if you're keeping track, Viper has been running right, well, not as high as I would probably run, but he's running the higher side, and he's got Chris Aiken right behind him. They're going to be hard to beat up there, even though you can, like, drop down there and go underneath them. You know, it's a short-term gain because that, you know, if you don't get back on that high side and run behind where they're running, because they're running up there in that high groove and they're saving. 10 laps to go, so now it's race back.
We should be okay on pit stops, right?
Yep, I believe so. And so now what it is if the shot caution should fall, instead of everybody lifting and getting, you know, staying in their position, now they race back to the start finish line. That's what they call where business picks up a little bit.
Yeah, because it was you were saying it was a 24 to 26 lap fuel window on this.
Yeah.
So the only way these guys are going to need to pit is if they rip these tires off these cars. Because they pitted, we had basically everybody pitting around lap 52, 53. So they got lots of fuel.
Yeah, Randy Waugh's trying, and tires were enough, I'm pretty sure, to go the distance. Randy Waugh's trying really hard to make it work down at the bottom, but he just can't seem to get anybody to go down there and give him a little bit of help.
Yeah, and he's right on the back of the 19 there, Chris Aiken.
This time, Viper and Chris, I imagine they're probably whispering to each other. They decided to run a little lower because Randy was down there. So they probably decided, let's go down a little lower. Because, I mean, like I said before, you can make up time on the bottom and you can pass them. It just, in a long run, that's not going to be the ideal way. But when you start talking about a short run, you ain't going to use these tires ever again. So burn them up.
Right, yeah, they won't be needing to save these tires for a full run because the race will be over. So it might be worth saving a little bit, but you know, now that we're within 10 laps, it might be worth driving the heck out of this thing. We'll see what Corey's dad can do.
Randy Watt is trying it really, really, really hard.
Telephone? Hello? Room service? Randy Watt, also known as Corey's dad, sitting here in third place. And he's looking right at the rear bumper of the 19, who's also looking at the rear bumper of the 24 of Viper. So Viper dominating this thing. He has led 26 laps. John Wall has led 22 of them. So he overtook John Wall on the laps led. John is a lap down, had a couple of unfortunate pit stops.
Yeah.
Giving Viper the time to crank those, lead those laps in Hawk's old car. Tribute to Hawk tonight, William Hawkins.
So now the question is
you've
got two SMO drivers in the front. You've got an SMO driver in third, you know, not pushing the new guy that doesn't normally run over here. Do you think that Waugh's going to have somebody help him go by these? Especially when you got a Hawk car out front?
I'm thinking.
Let me tell you something. You think Chris is going to try to pass the Hawk car on a Hawk tribute night? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
You think he's going to go for it?
I think he can. I think he might.
I didn't say I didn't think he could. I said, you think he's gonna?
Nah, I think he will.
Okay.
I think he'll try it.
We're down about 5 laps to go, so we're going to see what happens here.
It's one of those things we're thinking, well, you know, it's the Hawk tribute race. Viper's driving Hawk's car. They're not going to let him win.
Okay.
Nah.
There's no points, no money. It's all about their fallen comrade. So, you know, we'll see.
I see what you're saying, though. You got Randy Waugh there, and he'd love to win this thing, too. But you got Josh Chu behind him. I'm thinking the only one that's going to help Randy be Ulysses, but Ulysses is one car back.
But then you got right behind him, you got Jamie Tedder. So if they start going down there, man, to the high side, around Josh Chu. Look at that move.
Nice. Randy Waugh now has some help from Ulysses Sandoval. These two drivers aren't regulars here at SMO.
They race together in another league.
Throwing a little bit of a lane change there.
Yep. It's starting to get good. I mean, we're down to 3 laps to go after we get the start-finish line. And business is what they call pegging up.
And I got to say, man, if William Hawkins is watching this broadcast, this is some kind of racing right now. This has been a phenomenal race. The 70-lap race is over in like less than an hour. It's a long race.
2 cautions. One for an incident on first lap, and one what we believe was an incident that just a bad pit stop that brought it out. And these guys have been racing hard. There's a lot of strategy going into it. Mistakes made by drivers that we never thought. Oh, look at this. Chris Aiken goes to the bottom and he gets a push. Yep, you're right. You called that one.
They're not going to let him win just because you're driving Hawk's car. Doesn't mean you're going to get the safe pass. You know, you got to earn that thing. And Viper knows that though.
Oh yeah, and Viper's coming strong back on the high side now. It depends who's Randy Waugh going to go with. You know, the guy that's
going to go with Viper
pushed out front, or is he going to go to the high side?
You know what Randy's doing? He's just causing some tomfoolery right now. And he's going to go 3 wide.
He's going to go. Oh, I was just thinking the same thing, and then the door kind of closed up. I don't know.
Awesome. This is a drag race now, man. Do you think that maybe Aiken went too early?
I believe he did. There's a lot of good runs coming in from the high side. The question is where's U-Man going to go? Because we're coming to 1 lap to go.
This Viper is flying on that high line.
Yeah. So Viper had that one going at the line, not by much, 0.04 seconds.
We got helicopter cam right now. Randy Waugh making it 3 wide going into the back straightaway. Taps Aiken.
Oh no! Viper's gonna win it.
Viper
these guys
is gonna
are
get
not gonna
it.
be able to run him down.
Wow.
Hey, everybody.
Well,
I mean, that was just purely people going for it at the last lap.
That was good, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Awesome.
That was cool. Randy forced the 2x2, and then he was trying to force it into the back straightaway, and I don't know if they expected him to make it 3 wide. Maybe that's why they got bottlenecked. But
the Viper's going to come out with the win.
That was an awesome race. 20.
And I was just checking on something. Okay, so you got
laps.
Jamie Tedder second, Denny Carroll's third, Tom Musa, the guy that had trouble after the first pit stop there, whatever, way in the back, was in the back of all this and drove through the whole mess to 4th place.
Wait. We've got information coming up on our stats here. Andrew Miller out with a tire problem. Chris Aiken, who was running second, out with a tire puncture. So to me, it sounds like Aiken had a tire go down.
It's possible.
Maybe after the spin. Maybe that's what caused it. The spin probably caused it.
I mean, you think about Tom Musa was not having a great night. You know what I mean? Early in the night, he had some problems. The caution comes out late. He's able to be, I believe he got the wave around. So he got back in the back of the pack. And because of that pile up on the backstretch, he was able to drive through it all and come out 4th. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a long race, man. 70 laps. He wasn't having a good start, but he had a great finish. Oh,
I just saw that. I was just getting ready to say something, and then here comes.
He's doing a victory lap. Got walloped.
Yeah. That was awesome. In that Viper in the Hawk tribute car comes out with the win. I told you it was going to happen, but you had me kind of convinced her for a minute it might not.
Yeah, you thought they were taking it easy, eh?
Yeah. Going around the track, he's got his arm out there waving to the crowd. That's pretty awesome that he wins this tonight.
And they're doing a little formation right here, these guys right now, Tedder and Viper.
Watching that, and then Fast Cow come in there, or Tom Goodman come in there and had to kind of make a mess of it for a minute, but that's all right. So a little congratulations bump, I guess. That probably a little more congratulations bump than he needed, but that is pretty cool for the tribute race for Viper to come out with his car and actually win it. And all they did was peel the stickers, numbers off, and throw a full 24 on the side of it. That is cool. Yep.
They got Rest in Peace Nighthawk 66 across the banner of that car there. And he's being flanked by Jamie Tedder, the other Hawk car.
I was wondering about that, if that was another one of his Hawk cars. we didn't ask, I guess. I just knew that Viper was in one, but
yeah, Tedder's got the Hawks tribute logo on the hood, and he's got Hawk's name all over it.
And that's good. Look at that. There was 2 Hawk tribute cars, 1 and 2. So that's even better. Very cool. So, well, burning it down. Let's see if we can find Denny Carroll. You get him out of the car, get him up here in the booth, and he can tell us a little bit about his night.
Yeah, let's talk to Denny.
Denny Carroll, Rod Weston, Blaine Donnelly up in the booth. Third place finish tonight. How the hell did you make that happen?
Well, I missed the wreck. It was hard to pass on this track.
I like that. Well, missed the wreck.
Yep. Easy as that, really.
Well, at that first caution, I think I was third, and I went in the last lap to pit. I figured, well, I have my gas, and hopefully that's hard to get back to the front. Man, you just could not hardly pass on that track.
Yeah. Track where if tire saving is a very important thing. I talked about it earlier in the broadcast that you really got to run the high side to try to save your tires and stuff. But not everybody likes to run up there. But all in all, I mean, you were in the middle of the pack, came to the front, little back, whatever, all night long, and had a decent night.
Yeah, I was just taking my time waiting till the end, but I don't think I could have done nothing. If I seen that wreck happen, I think I went from 9th to 3rd.
Yeah. Oh, Tom Musa was further back than that. He ended up 4th, so that's pretty cool.
Crap, yeah. Did you guys like the race?
Oh, we had a blast up there.
That was great.
Some really good
race
racing.
here again. I'm not giving up no more spots for a pit.
Well, as long as you had a good time, that's all that matters.
It's always fun. I've made some of the best friends I got on this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That setup out there tonight looked awesome. All you guys were running awesome laps. 204 mile an hour we saw a couple times.
Oh, yeah, it felt good. You just had to kind of drive it there because it get a little looser once in a while. It felt really good, though. The setup did.
That's cool. Blaine, you got any more for Denny? We're going to let him just thank all his peeps.
Yeah, you know what? Thank all your peeps. That's thanks for covering me, Rod, because at the end of the race, I'm trying to save all the replays and get all the stats and stuff. So, yeah, no, that's super cool, man. Congratulations on getting through that wreck and getting the podium finish.
That's the first time I've been on the podium in a long time.
Yeah, on a televised race, yeah.
Yeah.
You win a few of them there on Mondays and Tuesdays with us. You keep snagging them away from me.
Well, they're going to have to televise them.
Yeah, there you go. I was beginning to think they ought to do that. Well, but then again, of course, then I'd have to be up in the booth. But floor is all yours. Thank anybody that you want to thank, and appreciate you coming out tonight.
Just want to thank you guys at SMO for letting me race with them. I'll be back next Sunday. Appreciate you fellas, and say hello to my uncle in Florida, Eddie Ray. Hello, and my wife. See you guys. Thanks for interviewing me.
All right, buddy.
Thanks,
Have
Denny.
A good night.
Have a good night.
Of course, that's Denny Carroll. I love racing with that guy. So now we got to find that Jamie Tedder guy that finished second. And, somebody moved. All right, and get him down here and see if we can chat with Jamie. So, Jamie, second place. I didn't know if you were going to make it through that last little wreck. It got pretty close to you.
Pure luck. I mean, if there's any luck, I got to look for this 4-leaf clover because apparently it's laying next to me here somewhere.
So wait a minute. You know what they always used to say about Jimmy Johnson, right? It's something about a horseshoe. He had a golden horseshoe. I don't know if you've ever heard that or not, but yeah, I'd rather be lucky than good any day.
Yeah.
It was a good race.
Was not expecting that. I had a top 5 car, but not second place.
Well, you ran good all night. We just interviewed Denny Carroll there, and he was saying that it was kind of hard to pass. I played around a little bit in practice, and I was just goofing around, and I went to the bottom side and the high side, whatever. I personally myself like the high side, but you could get down underneath people, but if you didn't get it done within a lap or two, you lost all that momentum you tried to gain.
Yeah, the draft definitely comes into play big time, especially the high line. So I found out that going in the middle of the track or even low and coming out high and getting that draft and getting that momentum was probably the key thing to do. And it did help me gain some spots here and there, but I don't know. We just had a lot of trouble on pit road and a couple times with the O car, and he didn't mean nothing by it. It's just one of them things that happens, and it's all good. I never expected a second place, but Hey, this second place was for Hawk, which I know the first place. I know what Viper's going to say too, but this was for Hawk.
Yeah. I think you might want to next race avoid John. He just not have a good night tonight pitting, and it just that's not typical of John. I mean, tonight for a reason that caught him off.
I mean, we all have our off nights.
Yep.
We really do, and unfortunately tonight was his, and but it's fine. It's part of the game. It's part of the friendship we have here. I mean, no hard feelings. I mean, we'll go racing next week.
And John's a talent. There is no doubt about it. And unfortunately, he just messed up and unfortunately caught you on the first one when he was trying to come back off the grass. And in the second one, I think he just overshot coming in, and he needed something to stop him from going very far, and you were right there.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all good, and he whispered to me. He's like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." He said, "I'm an idiot," and I'm like, "No, this stuff happens. I mean, I don't care how good you are at this game. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake, and there's nothing you do."
Absolutely. Blaine, before we let him go on, you want to ask him something?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, just like you said, we've all played this thing for so long, and sometimes you do something and you're just like, what? Why did I do that? Like, it's going to happen, but it's that muscle memory, and you're so comfortable in the situation, and sometimes you just forget where, what, like I've done stuff.
That's why I don't, I enjoy this game, and as many years that it's been around, and as many years as we've been with SMO, and I don't know. It's just, I can't really, if stuff like that happens, I can't take it serious because it's a game, I mean, I know he didn't mean to, and it's all good.
I've gone to pit on the wrong side of the track before.
It'll happen.
I'm like,
race SMO. Race SMO. You will do that until you figure out where it is.
Start braking coming out of turn 2 going, I gotta go half of another lap before I could do this. Everybody passes you, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I thought I was pitting. Oh, well.
The SMO track that you guys have done with us. The front stretch pits actually are not pits, but I have actually went in the pits to pit there, and I'm like, okay, I forgot it's on the back stretch.
Right.
I can believe it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that the first time. I'm thinking, this makes no sense because it's there. That's the craziest thing, because if it wasn't there, you wouldn't make the mistake. But the fact that there is 2 pit lanes and you just assume it's on the front straight, I expect that's happened more than once.
We did a little live broadcast of that race with me in the car, and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. Well, that is a little confusing.
Yeah.
Well,
did that on purpose.
Jamie, first and foremost, I know you're one of the admins here and whatever. I want to thank you for having us come over to the broadcast for you. Yeah. And we're going to give you the floor. Thank you if you want to thank. We appreciate you having us, and then we're going to get Viper in here, and you can tell us a little more about it.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. Tarnation TV, all of you, Blaine, Rod, everyone that's watching tonight, we appreciate you tuning in for sure. SMO Gaming Simulations. One of the things we're still around is because of Hawk. So this was about him tonight. So thank you, Hawk, for all the years you gave us. Short-lived, way too soon, but either way, this was all about Hawk, and hopefully we can do it again next year. And congrats to Viper on his 14th annual Hawk Tribute win.
Thank you, Jamie.
So, Blaine, I'll let you do this one if you want.
Hey, Viper, congrats. What a crazy win, man. We were watching this thing. Randy Waugh was pushing both of you guys, and we didn't know what was going to happen between you and Chris. Those last 10 laps were... this entire race was absolutely amazing to watch. Those last 10 laps were wild. So you were probably looking in the rearview mirror more than you were looking at the windshield.
Yeah, I was looking at the rearview mirror pretty much. But in that last run, my car went to a transition. I don't know if I was pushing it too hard or I don't know what happened, but I was holding on those last 10 laps to stay up front. But they got kind of wild there at the end, which was not surprising, but that happens.
I was pushing.
Sorry, go ahead, Rod.
I was pushing for you. I was telling Blaine, I think he's going to get it. He's going to get it. And then all of a sudden, it was getting pretty racy there. And all of a sudden, it just went crazy. And as soon as it did, I'm like, Viper's got it. They ain't catching him now. He's gone.
Yeah, I hear that. There's a trick to this track. It's pretty much got to run high side, and it's way to enter the corners.
Yeah.
You enter the corner a certain way, and you can pretty much float through the corners quickly. But you run that bottom to burn your stuff up in a hurry.
Is the bottom faster? Like if you saved your tires the entire run and then just had to go for it, could you make the bottom work, or does it roast tires that much?
Oh, you could make the bottom work. I have in the past in this race, but it's very difficult to do. If you manage to do it, you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's very hard on the tires in the bottom.
Yeah, the track's
it is.
super wide for a reason, right? They kind of want you running high, but yeah, we didn't think we were we were watching John's race, and he was dominating this thing. He had 22 laps led, and then just had a couple bad pit stops, and then, you caught him in laps led, leading 33, the most laps on the race. Looking at what happened to John, there was no way anybody was going to beat that guy tonight.
No, I got lucky with that caution. Or at the Anton pit road they had, and I was about 4 laps more on fuel than every rest of the field me and Chris was. So I radioed Chris, said, "How much fuel you have left?" And we figured out, okay, we'll pit in about a lap or so, when our fuel pressures are down. Well, we're doing that, and John had an incident on pit road, or whenever it was, the last caution came out, and we thought, well, this is over. But luckily we managed to survive that mess and sitting in Rick Lane tonight.
Yeah, it was a amazing race, although we didn't really know where to put the camera half the time because there was so many things going on. There was a couple little incidents, a lot of incidents that were great, ended up being great saves, like stuff that we thought was going to cause a wreck, didn't cause a wreck. All around fantastic race, entertaining race, pit strategies. Like I said, 70 laps is over in half an hour. You guys got it done in 40 minutes. It was a treat to watch.
Yeah, it's exciting from behind the wheel there for a little while, but this race is a quick race. 70 laps goes by quick here in Michigan, especially with the very limited caution flags like we had tonight.
Yeah, we only had the two. One at the start, claimed an engine, and then the other one I think was just another missed pit opportunity. I couldn't find a reason why it came out. Cars were in the grass, they weren't obstructing the track, but the yellow still came out, so maybe someone was just over that line somewhere. But either way, fantastic race. Thanks again to SMO for you guys for having us in here to call this race, and it was a great race. I can't say it enough.
And we appreciate you having. I also want to say thanks to Mountain Motorsports, SMO, Hardcore, and everybody else. You got Tarnation TV, everybody else who raced us tonight. What else could you ask for? Pretty good deal. And Hawk's car sitting in Victor Lane with his paint job on it.
Yeah, very, very cool, man. Yeah, congratulations on the win. Super cool that it's Hawk's car too. That's in Victory Lane, man. So, I guess thanks for having us, guys, and fantastic racing. And Rod and I'll wrap this thing up, and we'll hopefully see you guys again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Well, there it is, man.
What a race.
Yeah. Can't say it enough. Yeah, the two cautions were really irrelevant.
Yeah.
We've got an engine going out early, and then the second one, I couldn't find any other incident on the track other than those two cars in the grass after the issues going into pit road there, and the yellow come up. I'm like, okay, so.
And we saw a rare mistake out of John Wall tonight that we normally don't see, and unfortunately, like we talked about earlier, everybody has bad nights, and that's too bad. John, he'll come back the next time they run, and he'll be just as strong. Actually, I'll probably have to race him Tuesday, and he'll probably kick my butt again, but love racing the guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, thanks to all the drivers who came out tonight. Viper, Jamie, Denny, Tom, Dick, Josh. We got Ulysses, Randy, Chris, Andrew, Tom, John, Javier, Kiara, and Jim. Thanks to everybody who came down tonight to fill the field up. 15 cars. A few people retired, some tire issues as well. All around fantastic race. You can see the stats on the screen there. 9 lead changes with 6 drivers. And it was Dick that actually had that fastest lap the entire night, the one we mentioned earlier. That was
RC
actually.
got the fastest lap?
Yep.
Oh, no
It
doubt.
did not change. He hit that lap early and it stayed like that right to the end.
Well, you're going to get it with fresher tires too. To get out there, 9 times out of 10, most of the tracks. And then, especially when you got out there with pretty much the whole pack in a draft, especially if you're just a tad behind that, you might get a good run out of that. That's probably what he did. There's nothing wrong with that. Like the CRC going fast.
Yeah, super fun, man. Thanks a lot, Rod, for helping me call the race this evening. It was definitely a lot of fun and great race.
Absolutely. Anytime. You know how if I got the time to get here, I'll be here with you.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again to SMO Racing Simulations for allowing Tarnation TV to call the 14th annual William Hawk Hawkins tribute race. Rest in peace, Hawk. Thanks, everybody, for watching on YouTube, if that's what you were doing. Thanks to all the drivers. Thanks to Rod. And if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.